Hey, welcome to Screen Rant, my superhero superfans. I'm Greg Elliott, and about 5 years ago, both Warner Brothers and Marvel Studios laid out their film slates for the DCEU and MCU at around the same time, but as we've all seen, to very different results. So, why did Marvel's Phase 3 plans go so much better than DC's? I know this may come as a surprise to hear, but comic book movies have pretty much dominated the box office over the last few years, thanks primarily to Marvel. Since their announcement of Phase 3 in 2014, Marvel has released 13 movies, 11 of which made up Phase 3 itself, and all of which have been at least somewhat commercially successful. In the same time period, DC has released 7 movies, including the non-DCEU film Joker, and well, it's safe to say that overall, those films have gotten a bit more mixed of a reception. And neither Marvel nor Warner Brothers are showing any signs of slowing down, and both already have a string of new releases planned over the next few years. With big names like Batman, Superman, Flash, and Wonder Woman in their catalog, you might think that Warner Brothers would have had some guaranteed successes, but that's unfortunately not the way it worked out. So why exactly is it that Marvel was able to nail most of its confirmed schedule, while the DCEU had such a hard time making it happen? Well, from the outside, both Marvel and DC's 2014 announcements were pretty similar. That October, Warner Brothers announced 10 films, including Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League Part 1, The Flash, Aquaman, Shazam, Justice League Part 2, Cyborg, and Green Lantern. But 2 weeks later, Marvel announced Phase 3, their biggest and longest so far, with 8 movies, including Captain America: Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Thor: Ragnarok, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Inhumans, and Avengers: Infinity War Parts 1 and 2, which as we know became Avengers: Infinity War and Endgame. So while the studios essentially did the same thing, the big difference was how they made their announcements. Warner Brothers did it at a closed-door shareholder meeting, but Marvel set up a big event at the El Capitan Theater in LA, invited the press, and even got Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans to show up to help with the reveal. The big problem on top of that is that the DCEU plan relied way too much on Justice League being a big hit, expecting that it could and would duplicate the success of Marvel's ensemble Avengers film. Remember, they'd only done Man of Steel at that point, whereas Marvel had already released 5 standalone films, and DC was clearly trying to play catch-up. Batman v Superman didn't do too badly at the box office, but its reviews were pretty meh, so Warner Brothers kind of freaked out and pretty much scrapped everything after Justice League. But Marvel, with a few minor deviations, pretty much stuck to their original plan. Captain America: Civil War, Doctor Strange, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 came out as planned, and the timetable only really changed when they had to make room for Spider-Man: Homecoming after the Sony deal went through. Thor: Ragnarok, Black Panther, and Captain Marvel got pushed back a little bit, the Inhumans film was turned into a TV show, and Ant-Man and the Wasp took its spot. And even though it wasn't originally in the lineup, they added Spider-Man: Far From Home to close Phase 3 out, and somehow throughout all the changes, Infinity War and Endgame still managed to stick to their original release dates. Right now, both studios have a bunch of films and TV shows in the pipeline. Marvel made their big Phase 4 announcement at San Diego Comic-Con's Hall H, while Warner Brothers have made theirs a little bit more incrementally. It's hard to tell how the next few years will pan out, but one thing that's for sure is that we're not going to have any lack of comic book movies in the foreseeable future. And I know it's seeming more and more unlikely, but I'm still hoping Henry Cavill gets to keep being Superman. You know that we'll keep you posted on all your favorite superhero news and info, so make sure to keep coming back to Screen Rant to stay in the loop. I'm Greg Elliott, and I'll see you next time. Peace.